So today I'm going to talk about things I think would make for good gifts for people in your life who are interested in mixology. But it might be useful for me to define what I think makes for a good gift. Hey guys, I want to jump in here from the future. In fact, I just finished another episode. I want to let you know that I'm aware there's a lot going on in this episode. It is kind of all over the place. It's broken into segments. Down in the doobly-doo below, there's going to be timestamps. Use them to go to wherever you want. We got a section in this one on like just regular bar gear, and then a bunch of different bottles and a couple of experimental things, okay? And there's a couple of products in there that I think are worth hearing about. I think a good gift is something that's a bit frivolous, a bit of an extravagance, a bit of something that you wouldn't justify spending your own money on because, oh, I don't need that. I don't need that, but gee, that's neat. That isn't garbage, that is well made, that maybe won't break the bank, but that like is just something you kind of want, right? Like a little bit of a frivolity, A necessity should not be a gift necessarily, right? Like that's a necessity. A gift should be a thing that you want. That's just my own personal opinion. So a lot of these things are going to be better versions of something else. If you're looking for gifts for somebody who's interested in mixology, who's making cocktails already, they probably already have a set of bar tools. They probably don't need a basic set of bar tools. So I would steer clear from there unless you're looking to do some upgrading for them. And if you are looking to upgrade for them, go to Cocktail Kingdom. Everything from there is phenomenal. It is the industry standard at the more high-end bars around the world. The speakeasies, so to speak, they make phenomenal bar spoons. They make excellent strainers, both your Hawthorne and your julep strainers, excellent. What makes for a good Hawthorne strainer? Briefly, you want to have a nice tight coil. Really tight coil on the spring because that does the filtering. That is what's holding the ice back, which is the main job this thing does. And you want to be able to take the spring off very easily so that you can clean it in case you've got little bits of herbs and fruits or whatever in there that you need to get out. Makes it a lot easier when that comes off and is easy to clean. Cocktail Kingdom makes the Corico shaker. This is, I don't know, I think it's become the industry standard shaker. This one is a tank. It will last forever. It has just the right amount of flex in it. It really seats very nicely. It has the right weight. It has the right center of gravity. Everything about this is just really well thought out and perfect. And to be perfectly honest, this is why I don't have a shaker to sell you, because I don't know how to make one better than this. And if I did, I would make it and I would sell it to you. I'm not going to sell you anything inferior. I don't know how to make a better shaker. I just don't. I think Greg Boehm over at Cocktail Kingdom spent a lot of time working on this one, and it's perfect. It can't be improved upon. I mean, if it could, I'm sure it could be, but I don't know how to do it. So get that. It's great. The one thing I will say is Cocktail Kingdom, at last I checked, and I haven't been to their website in a minute, I don't think they sell a stainless steel juicer of this style. This is, I think you would call this a beehive juicer or whatever. You might just call it a citrus juicer. The one that they sell seems to be aluminum. I hate that juicer. It is like unwashable. It sucks. I think they do make a jumbo aluminum beehive juicer. That one might make sense if you have huge pieces of fruit. But this thing is pretty great. I should pick one of those up and check it out. Jiggers, they got it all. You know, you can't go wrong. I have come to really like these style of jiggers. I used to crap on them, but they're very good if you have like a low glass that you need to pour into. You know, you don't have to come, if this was a like Japanese style jigger, I'm gonna come way high with it. Less splashing. And then bitters bottles, beautiful, lovely little upgrade item. Nobody needs them, they're wonderful. This atomizer, if you know somebody who's really into classic cocktails that call for absinthe and that kind of stuff, these are really fun to have. And this mixing glass, or any mixing glass, a nice mixing glass is a wonderful thing to have, right? Cocktail Kingdom makes beautiful mixing glasses. You won't find a seam on them. They have wonderful crystal cuts, perfect shape. I love the little tight pour spout, everything about them. Cocktail Kingdom makes a great peeler. This is called a Swiss peeler or a Y peeler. This is the kind of peeler you're going to use typically to pull a peel off of a lemon or an orange to do a twist. The plastic handled one in my experience is very, very good. They make a beautiful chrome handled peeler, and this is heavy metal. It's gorgeous, but at least the one that I have, and I can't say this is universal, something about the angle attack on the blade here is wrong. And I don't know if that's going to be universal to all of these, because as you can see, the blades are kind of interchangeable, right? No, maybe not. Are they the same length? Not exactly. This one cuts a peel so thin that it's not really usable, and I can't make it cut thicker. So your mileage may vary. This, on the other hand, this plastic handled guy is my favorite peeler ever. There's like an industry standard brand is Kunrikon. They make, I think they kind of invented this style of peeler. That's the one a lot of people use. A lot of companies make these styles of peeler. They shouldn't be that expensive. It's a nice thing to have. A microplane zester. It's a great thing to have for cocktails. It's good. So at the time of filming this episode, these Crew bottles had not yet arrived. They just came. I gotta say, I think I love them. I haven't had a chance to spend any time with them yet, but the basic idea here is that, you know, you can open it from the top like a regular bottle, or you can open it from the bottom, which makes it really easy to put stuff in to do infusions and really easy to clean it out. You don't need like a wine bottle brush at all. You can kind of just do it with your hand and like a towel or rag or a sponge, or if you wanted like a regular bottle brush like that you would use on baby bottles or water bottles or whatever. So in theory, I love these. I'm gonna tell you what, I would love to get a set of these as a gift. They come in a couple different colors. You can get them with and without graduation lines on them. As you can see, just to start testing them for real, I've already transferred some of my cinnamon simple syrup to it. A lot of times stuff like that cinnamon stick, it's a real pain in the butt to get it to come out of the neck when it's time to clean out the bottle, especially if, you know, something like cinnamon syrup, because of the particulates that wind up being in there, they can really help this build crystals, and crystals are a pain in the ass to deal with. I have a feeling unscrewing the bottom is gonna make that a lot easier. I don't know how they hold up. I don't know if the seals are like magic and perfect. Don't have the ability to do an update on this right now. I will tell you that I'm gonna get more of these and I'm gonna start using them around the bar, and down the road there'll be an update. Honestly, even if they don't hold up like forever, these are a really cool gift. I would be really appreciative to get these. In fact, through the Patreon, there's a Discord server, and our Discord mod, Dennis, runs a Discord Secret Santa. I have to get something for Secret Santa for somebody in that Discord. I think they're gonna get a set of these with whatever else I get them. I really like the way they look too. You can color coordinate them. I hope that they live up to the promise. I think they are really cool. Hopefully they do a good job of actually holding up. There is a little gasket down in here. Honestly, I don't have any reason to suspect that that's gonna fail right in there. I mean, I've got plenty of water bottles. I have, you know, Yeti bottles. Those gaskets haven't failed on those yet, and this feels like it's really, the screw mechanism here is really well seated. It doesn't seem to have any give in it. Once it's in, it's in. The glass obviously is dishwasher safe, and probably actually will come clean in a dishwasher because you can open it up on the bottom. The bottom I would hand wash. Well, I think that their instructions are to hand wash as well. It is like a kind of a silicone texture. It's like got a good grip to it. I don't know exactly what the material is. If maybe we could throw it up on the screen. What is it? It doesn't say in there. It probably says on the website and in the literature. But the texture is really nice. I like these. I like these a lot. It's kind of cool because it's a bit of a non-slip base too, by virtue of that rubbery kind of bottom. Okay, there it is. The Crew bottles came. So far, I love them, but I did just get them, so take that for what it is. The other thing I thought, hey, wouldn't it be neat if there was a way to keep a bottle of vermouth cold? One bottle of vermouth on my bar. Some kind of a chilling device. And there is such a device, so I ordered it. This device is it. Now, you will find this device, this one happened to be made, or sold, I should say, by Cobalance. I bought it because it was gonna arrive in time. This device, this shape of device, you will see on a number of brands if you go look on Amazon or whatever. They're all made by the same company. They're just white labeled, right, for sure. You throw a bottle in there, you set the temperature, it keeps it cold if you plug it in. I don't love it. It did do a good job. It kept a bottle cold. You could keep it on a bar, which is pretty neat, and it'll keep the bottle chilled. Very, very cool. If you're having a party or something like that, you're gonna put a bottle of champagne in it, that's awesome. Probably not the worst gift, actually. For me, I plugged it in and I let it run for a couple of days, and my problem is it never stopped making noise. I was kind of hoping I could put this on the set and just have it. It just, all the time. It's got a fan running. Sometimes it gets a little bit louder than that. I thought it would get to temperature and then only have to run occasionally. I don't know what kind of a chilling machine, maybe it's a Peltier device, I don't know. But it like never stopped running, and I didn't love that, and I wonder about leaving it running if that's the way it works. Like I wonder how quick it would burn out, or if it's a fire hazard or what. So I'm not gonna recommend it. I'm gonna tell you it exists. Maybe it's cool. I'll even throw a link up to it, because if you happen to decide you want one, why shouldn't I get a piece of it? I'll do an affiliate link. But not my fave. I would have to test it for like months to really know if it's like an issue. For me, the issue is that it makes noise and it never stops making noise. It's not that loud, it's just too loud for me to have all the time running. In theory, this is a cool idea because like vermouth is a pain in the ass to keep in the fridge. That's why everybody's always telling people, keep your vermouth in the fridge, and it's like a joke in bartending. Because people don't want to keep it in the fridge. They want to keep it where they make the drinks. And if you're at home especially, you may not have a fridge near where you mix drinks. Or you may not have room in your fridge. Like my fucking fridge is so full, I can't find anything in there. We ordered takeout tonight because it's not possible to find the food that's in our fridge. I don't know what to do about that. So I don't have room for vermouth in that fridge for sure. So something like this seems like a cool idea. The truth of the matter is that, like, don't love it. I think that a bottle of Private Preserve, which is a spray can, it's full of mostly argon, which is heavier than air but doesn't oxidize. I mean, I know for certain it'll keep your vermouth fresher than this. The problem with that is that, like, you give somebody a can of weightless spray air, they might be like, fuck. It's like not a great gift, honestly. It's just kind of weird. There are vacuum preservers for vermouths and wine. They do work okay. In the independent testing that I've looked at, Private Preserve works a lot better. And probably this is even not as good as a vacuum chiller. So I'm kind of going to put it on the don't buy list, but I also think it's kind of cool. I just wish it was more cool. It also kind of looks like a Cybertruck. This is a funny thing about me. I don't like Elon Musk or Tesla. A lot of people think the Cybertruck looks stupid. I think that the Cybertruck looks cool. I want things to look like weird future shit. That's just me. So I give them a lot of points on the design front. I don't give them a lot of points in any other department. We're going to talk today about bottles that I think will make for great gifts, because I know a lot of people have asked me that. What should I give as a bottle? What bottle should I give is not such an easy question to answer, because a bottle of base spirits, it's just my own personal opinion, 750 milliliters, that has 12 cocktails in it, 12 2-ounce pours and change. It's here and gone. You know, you get somebody that gift and they might appreciate it, but they use it and it's gone. Unless they don't use it because they don't like it. So, I don't know. I'm a little bit weird about giving somebody a base spirit, a tequila, a whiskey, a rum, with a couple of caveats. I'm assuming that you have a very reasonable budget. If you don't, if you're buying somebody some pricey stuff, if you want to go crazy and get them like a Weller 12 year or something like that, that's like a sipping whiskey that you know they're going to love because they are a bourbon nut and you happen to have a lead on getting some Weller 12 or some Fitzgerald or, God forbid, some Pappy or whatever, you're golden. You know, a bottle of Johnny Walker Blue Label, this is a beautiful thing to receive. Nobody wants to buy this for themselves. It's like $200 or $300 a bottle. Is it phenomenal? I don't think it's my favorite scotch, but I don't mind owning a bottle. And nobody's gonna be unpleased by this. And if you got that kind of money to throw around, go for it, you know? It's easy to figure out what to buy for somebody when you just say, money's no object, I'll buy you a car. Not that any of those are really that expensive, but they are what you would call premium or even ultra premium spirits. So I don't really think that base spirits make for a great gift. Just because they're here and gone, they don't linger, there's not much to think about there, and they probably already have their favorite brands. You might think, oh, well, I'll get sort of a top shelf one, but a lot of that top shelf stuff that's literally just above sort of the $30 to $40 to $50 price range, you know, that $100 price range. A lot of that stuff, it's a bit of marketing hype. You know, you're kind of getting hosed there. There's some stuff that's really good in that price range. A lot of it, though, it's not really that interesting, and unless you're very well educated on it, and I don't have the capacity in the span of a YouTube video to tell you what to get somebody from that price range. I will say this, rum and tequila might be a special case. Like, if you see something that says Hamilton on it, the Hamilton rums are always very interesting, very wonderful rums. If you say something that says Demerara on it, like a Hamilton Demerara rums all come from one distillery in Guyana, and they're not in a lot of liquor stores. So if you see that, you know you're shopping for a rum person, phenomenal. If you're shopping for a rum person, stay away from spiced rums, because rum person probably isn't that interested in spiced rums. Another base spirit that I think would be pretty cool to give to somebody, Applejack. And a good Applejack, one like Laird's, the 100 proof or the bonded, if you can find it. I was just at the store today and I didn't see this label, so I don't know if they've changed their packaging and stuff like that and it's not applicable anymore. But this is the kind of thing that's like a bit of a curiosity. Certainly a whiskey drinker, any brown spirits drinker is not going to be upset to get a bottle of Applejack, particularly a nice one. But they're also not going to go through it really quickly. It'll sit there. It'll be a cool thing. It'll be a cool thing that they'll savor and enjoy over a long period of time. I want to get it out of the way really quickly. I got two sponsors on the show who are showing up in almost every episode, but not this one as a sponsor, but they will show up in the episode. Whiskey and Drinkmate. I love them both. These are products that I actually genuinely love. They became sponsors of the show because I love them, and because they are a sponsor, I don't know how to tell you that they're great without you thinking that I'm being paid to tell you that they're great, except that you're going to have to take my word for it. They're great. They're great. The Drinkmate is a great carbonator. Are there other great carbonators? I don't know. Maybe. I know that I'm not a fan of the one that you're thinking of because you can't carbonate anything with it. The Drinkmate can carbonate anything. Whiskey makes beautiful glassware. Are there other people who make glassware? Certainly. Are they going to be exactly to your taste? I don't know. That's up to you. You got to go to the website and find out. I do know that if you use the codes and links and stuff like that I tell you about all the time, you're going to get a discount on both of those things, so check them out. But they're not the sponsor of this episode, for what it's worth, so meh. There it is. But I do know this, anybody who makes cocktails needs glassware. Anybody who makes cocktails needs carbonated water on a somewhat regular basis. So either of those things will be welcome, I'm sure. Let's talk about drinkable things that I think make for great gifts. I think syrups can make a great gift. I think that, don't buy somebody commercially made simple syrup. It's useless. They can make that at home. You could make it and give it to them if you really wanted to, but I don't. Orgeat, though, is a pain in the ass to make. And Small Hand Food makes an excellent orgeat. I've been recommending this thing for years. I don't get anything for doing so, but they make wonderful ingredients, particularly their orgeat. This is the orgeat that I used when I kind of developed my own recipe. Cocktail & Sons makes a fashionola. They also make a lot of other syrups that are really good. I did a whole episode sort of reviewing stuff I'd gotten in the mail. And Cocktail & Sons syrups was one of them, as well as Liber & Company. I don't have anything of theirs on hand. All very cool. Love their stuff. It is fun. It's great. They're frivolities though, right? Like if you're into mixology, you're not gonna be able to justify buying it maybe for yourself. Hopefully you can, but you may not. And if somebody got it for you, it would be such a nice gift. It'd be such a nice gift. Another thing that's kind of cool to have are barrels. Little tiny barrels for aging things. I did an episode where I made the meads in Skyrim, and believe it or not, this still has the mead in Skyrim in it. This is the juniper berry mead. Ooh, that was a little hiss, huh? What we got going on in there? I don't know if I can drink this, but we're gonna try it. Don't make me sick now. Whew, that's a wild flavor. Oh, whoa, whoa, damn, that got complicated. There's a lot going on in there. Oak, big oak, wow. All right, that was fun. Sorry, I haven't opened that up in like half a year. Wow, 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 wow. I'm not gonna get too much of that. Black pepper, oak, some kind of, what was that? Oh boy, tart. Really tart, nasty stuff up front, but really mellows out into like walnuts and pecans and oak, and not very sweet at all, pretty dry. Anyway, barrels for aging things in, a lot of fun. Cool to get. Who wouldn't want that? You can throw Manhattan in it, it's another one of those things you may not buy for yourself, but if somebody gave it to you, wouldn't you like that? You would love that. Bitters. I think bitters can make a really cool gift. There's a lot of bitters out there, a lot. Anything beyond your big two, I would say, which is orange and Angostura. Angostura makes an orange bitters. A lot of people like Gaz Regans orange bitters as well. Oh, and the third one is Peychaud's, which is wonderful to have. Really important if you're making a Sazerac. Doesn't come up in a lot of other stuff that's not made in New Orleans, but cool. Bitters are great. If you know someone who's into mixology, they probably have some bitters, the big three, and so that opens up the door to a lot of the weirder, more interesting stuff out of the sides of that, so to speak. I will say this, if you wanted to get somebody a giant bottle of Angostura bitters, like this 16-ouncer, and a dasher bottle. What a cool gift that would be. A beautiful dasher bottle, and the Angostura bitters to throw in there, and unless they're doing huge pours of Ango on the regular, making Trinidad sours and stuff like that, and having access to a bottle like this may cause that to happen, this is gonna last them a very, very long time. I make a show here, and I go through these very slowly. So, something like that. Other bitters that are cool to have, Bokers, anything from Bittermens. I'm a huge fan of their chocolate and their Elemakule bitters, both really cool to have. How to Drink has a Patreon. If you love the show, go ahead and check that out because you'll get access to our Discord. In our Discord, our mod, Dennis, he organizes a Secret Santa. Last year, my How to Drink Secret Santa got me a set of these crude bitters. They are really lovely, wonderful little bitters. Super cool to have. This is their Lindsay. What am I getting there? Yeah, habanero, okay, good. I was like, spicy, am I losing my mind? Pecan, magnolia, and habanero, I would agree with that. Nutty, floral, spicy, really, right? This is cardamom caramelized raisin. Big cardamom, wow. Wow, that's fun. Boker's bitters, I don't actually know if you can still get this, but if you can, I'll throw a link up to it in the Amazon. Adam Elmengarb's Boker's bitters. This was supposedly a lost recipe from Golden Age, the 1800s of cocktails, right? And just throw a little, kind of a like more gentian than Angostura, but in that same space, bright and tart. The chocolate bitters and the Elemakule bitters from Bittermens, my faves. Love these. The Elemakule is so good in just about anything with rum. Like I always say this, it's like Coca-Cola without any sugar in it. I'm telling you, Coca-Cola is a complicated spirit. It's so citrusy and Christmassy and spiced. And their chocolate bitters, so dark. such dark, bitter, chocolatey bitters. Angostura now makes a cocoa bitters. Theirs is much sweeter. Awesome. Throw it on vanilla ice cream. Mwah. Lovely. What a lovely experience that'll be. Another non-alcoholic ingredient, just to get these out of the way, that I think anybody who's into mixology is going to love is Luxardo Maraschino Cherries. These things are not cheap, kind of obnoxious to have to buy on your own, but holy shit, do they make the difference in some cocktails. They are unbelievably good. Nothing at all like the kinds of red maraschino cherries that you get here in the States. Game changer if you're into mixing drinks. Kind of some seltzer. That brings me to the bottle that I tell people that they need for their bar more than any other bottle. People say, Greg, how should I start making drinks? I say, get yourself your favorite base spirit, get yourself the ingredients to make the cocktail that made you want to make drinks. Put that together. And then your next purchase should be a bottle of maraschino. Because this will open the doors to a whole world of, wherever you're starting, of pre-prohibition classic cocktails, golden age of cocktails. It's going to last forever because you're going to use it in tiny little bar spoons, okay? And it is going to give you so much more mileage out of a base spirit, and it's just going to sit there and you're not going to run out. If you're into making drinks, a base spirit is a commitment because you have to replace it on the regular. You get into that, you have to keep it in stock, so to speak, right? These things, once you buy them, they're stocked. You don't have to worry probably for years to replace this. If you're curious about what maraschino tastes like, I'll give you a quick tasting right now, but it doesn't matter because you need it for so many of these drinks. I don't know when I've ever drank it neat. Jeez, what is that? I'm not gonna lie, it tastes like maraschino. It's really hard to put your finger on. It tastes absolutely nothing like a maraschino or maraschino in the States cherry, but it tastes like maraschino liqueur, which is unique. Kind of irreplaceable. If a drink calls for it, I don't know what you would put in it if you didn't have it. Great gift. If you can find yourself a bottle, which is much easier to find these days than it used to be. The first time I went hunting for a bottle of maraschino, it was almost impossible to find, and that was years and years ago, at least in the suburbs. Not gonna break the bank. Not super duper expensive. Also, a lot of these bottles, I should point out, are gonna be available on Curiata, partner of the show. Anything dollars you spend there, I do get like a fraction of, so full disclosure. But like a lot of the stuff will be available there. A lot of the stuff won't be available there, you know, it is what it is. But if you are having a hard time finding some of this stuff and you're looking for something to be a gift for somebody, probably order it there and have it shipped straight to them. Who wouldn't want that? So maraschino, wonderful modifier spirit that you're going to need a lot if you're into mixing drinks. Other ones, there's a couple of other like kind of basic modifier spirits. And if you know anything about chartreuse, you know they've cut back supply and this is getting really hard to get. Don't worry, this isn't my last bottle. So if you find a bottle of chartreuse, and you don't want to buy it for yourself, you want to take one for the team, whomever you purchase this for will be deeply appreciative, unless they don't know enough to be deeply appreciative, in which case they are unfitting of such a gift. Don't buy it for them. I'll give you a quick idea of what chartreuse tastes like so you know what it is that you're buying. This is made by Chartreusian monks. The name of the color comes from the spirit. It's been around for forever. It's an herbal liqueur of pretty high proof. Most liqueurs are under 40% alcohol. This is 55% alcohol by volume. So it's strong stuff. Tastes like, I always get black pepper strongly. Tastes herbal, vegetal. There's piney. There's like a piney note that it leads with. It's one of those things that just infects your face, your sinuses, your olfactory. It just gets up in there, woo! And it is intense. It is an intense and pungent flavor. It is super important in any drink that calls for it. Sometimes people say, what's the alternative? What do you use as a substitution? You can't easily substitute this one. Same thing as Benedictine. I don't know, how do you substitute Benedictine? A lot of those modifiers that we use, you're not gonna find a substitution for. And then the last, I think, core modifier that is going to be good with a caveat is Velvet Falernum. And this is not expensive stuff. You should be able to find this in a lot of liquor stores. If you know somebody who's into tiki drinks, they're gonna need this. Or if they're just getting into tiki drinks, or if they're into rum and you think that maybe they should get into tiki drinks, a bottle of Velvet Falernum, lovely thing to receive. It is a pretty sweet liqueur. Tastes like sweet tobacco, humidor. Oh man, that's fun. Again, I don't really drink this stuff straight that much. What is it? It's only 11% ABV, so it's almost a syrup at that point. Rum, sugar, lime juice, and certain spices on a sugar estate is how they made this. So it is Falernum. It's tough to replace. There are recipes out there to make your own. I've had poor results with them. Maybe one of these days I'll revisit that and actually make my own Velvet Falernum. So that gets me into aperitifs. I think that Campari is probably too basic to be a gift, honestly. I think that if they want Campari, they've got Campari. So I think that look at alternatives to Campari. I have this one right here. St. George makes wonderful stuff in general. They're Bruto Americano. Woo! That is so herbal. Answers the same call as Campari while being different. It has such an earthy, woodsy, juniper and pine. I mean, it's not at all gin, but some people might say, oh, it's like bitter gin. It's not. It's just like drinking a forest. Pine needles and earth and moss and the trees and everything like that. Oh, I love that. That is super cool. I'm very into this one. If you saw a bottle of that and gave that to somebody who's into like Negronis, they would probably love that. Tempus Fugit is another company that I think is wonderful, just like St. George. They make great, cool things. This is their Kina Liero d'Or. This is supposedly what Kina Lillet, the one that James Bond calls for in a Vesper Martini, is supposed to taste like, as opposed to Lillet Blanc, which is kind of a white vermouth. Let's give that a shot. That's so cool. Oh man, I kind of just want to drink that on the rocks. That's really cool. Not supremely bitter, has a nutty, woodsy, oaky kind of vibe. Very, very warm and welcoming with just a hint of bitterness. That's lovely. A lot of these things I don't really drink neat on the regular. I would say that if you know anybody who's into mixology, either one of these will be wonderful additions to their bar. They probably don't have them. They're kind of specialized. They're gonna last a while, but they're going to be appreciated, I promise. I would say, here's the thing. Aperol is not a Campari alternative. It doesn't fulfill the same need at all. I know people are gonna say, oh, but it kind of does. No, it kind of doesn't. It's not the same thing. It's not bitter enough. It's not loud enough. It's more sweet than anything. As far as gifts go, super accessible. I mean, anybody, you're gonna be able to find that anywhere. Moving on to Amaros. I think that Amaros are always welcome. An Amaro is a Italian style bitter liqueur, digestive aperitif kind of thing that isn't bitter. I'm not really clear on why something is or isn't an Amaro, but an Amaro is an Amaro. These three are wonderful. Montenegro, Amaro Nonino, Amaro di Angostura, probably my favorite because I love Angostura and this tastes more or less like Angostura. Chiocchiaro is great. Averna is another one. All of these Italian Amaros are wonderful additions in a bar. You know, they're modifier spirits. You can use them in a number of ways in a number of drinks, just to give you an idea of what we're dealing with here, because there is a huge range on these. This is Amaro Montenegro. Kind of sweet and light. Herbal and bubble gummy, slightly, and orange notes, big time. This is Amaro Nonino. There are some modern classics that love this stuff. The Paper Plane calls for this, if I'm not mistaken. Again, orange, more bitter, a little bit more stringent, wonderful. Like, this is a sweeter version of Amaro Nonino. They're both on the sweeter end. Fun stuff to play with, great stuff to have. Nobody wouldn't want this. And these are pretty accessible. You're gonna find these in the liquor store, but they're also the kind of thing that somebody wouldn't really buy for themselves. They would just walk by them, probably. Good chance, you know. If you know somebody who's into cocktails and you pick them up and say, somebody told me that that's like the good shit to have in your bar, and they're just new, they would have to take your word for it. It is. This is Amaro di Angostura. I love this stuff. Allspice, cinnamon, clove. I mean, it's nothing like the other guys. This is like an allspice dram. This is spiced spice. I do think I'm getting some subtle notes of orange. Definitely some vanilla in there too. That's a really complicated Amaro. I love it. Can't get enough of it. If you see that in a liquor store, buy it, because I don't think I've ever seen it in a liquor store, and it's a wonderful product. Might be on Curiata. All right, we've gone through Amaros. We've gone through aperitifs. Let's talk about liqueurs. Liqueurs are sweetened spirits. They are lower proof. Why aren't they Amaros? Because they're not containing some bitters. They're different. I don't really know the answer here, but I do know it when I see it. It's kind of like pornography. You know when you see it. So let's bust them out. Some liqueurs that I think would be cool to receive as a gift. Creme de Cacao, Creme de Banana, Creme de Vanilla, Creme de Menthe. I have all three of those from Tempus Fugit. You could buy those from De Kuyper, Bols, a number of brands that you would call bottom shelf, right? They show up in cocktails occasionally. You sometimes need them. If you upgraded somebody, if you got somebody a topper shelf version of those things, the blackberry brandies, you know, instead of LaRue, for example, I think that'd be a nice gift. I wouldn't mind that at all. I think that'd be really cool, in fact. So I like Tempus Fugit. They make wonderful liqueurs. We've talked about them already on the show. I use their cacao all the time. As you can tell, this is empty. I mean, it is thick, right? Like, that's syrup. authentically chocolatey, wonderful, robust, rich. Maybe I'm detecting a note of caramel in there. Excellent chocolate liqueur. This is creme de banana. I don't find a lot of uses for this, but like, again, it's one of those things where it's like, hey man, a high quality liqueur is a wonderful thing to receive, right? Looks a lot like chocolate. I mean, and that tastes like bananas. It doesn't taste like banana flavoring. It doesn't taste like fake bananas. It tastes like really real bananas. It tastes like banana peels, banana flesh. It tastes like fresh bananas. And then it tastes like old browning bananas, banana grease, banana oil. There's a complexity there of flavors. Do you need that all the time? Absolutely not. If you needed it, wouldn't you love to have that bottle? I don't know. It's a little more specialized. I wouldn't mind having it. I think it's a good gift. I think that upgraded liqueurs are good gifts. And I just want to reiterate the reason I'm steering you towards these kinds of things. Modifier spirits, right? Liqueurs, aperitifs, Amaros, and the big three, chartreuse, maraschino, and Falernum, is because you're going to get more mileage out of them. These are things you're going to give this person a gift, and it's going to be at their bar for a year, probably longer. And, you know, it's nice, right? Like, you give them the gift that you want them, they're going to think of you every time they use it, and they're going to use it for a long time. None of these are that expensive either. Like, if you get into the whiskey stuff, you're trying to buy somebody fancy whiskeys, like, you're going to spend a fucking fortune. It's stupid. This is one, I'm just out of curiosity, I want to try this. This is spiced pear liqueur from St. George. I love everything from St. George, but I haven't tried it yet, so let's try it. Ooh, let's see how I like this. Spiced pear. Never heard of such a thing. Wow. Strong nose of pear and cinnamon, or apple and cinnamon. That's fun. I don't know what I would do with that, but that's really cool. Stone fence. I want to put this in a stone fence. That's what I want to do. Oh man. Throw that in some cider, a little slug of brandy, not bourbon, brandy, a little bit more neutral. Some of it will disappear there. That's cool, man. How many proof is that? 20%. That's what I'm saying. You open new doors. You create new cocktails by giving somebody this stuff. So that's a neat one. That's a neat one. Somebody who's interested in making their own drinks up, it's like a whole new color to paint with. It's so much fun. You know what I would do with that, honestly? I would throw that in instead of Velvet Falernum in a tiki drink. It's so cool. Big variation right there. Huge, like, new cocktail. So this is Creme de Mezcal. This comes from Del Maguey. I don't know if there are other creme de mezcals. I don't know if mezcal creme de mezcal is a common thing to do with mezcals. Creme means it's like it's got to be some weight of sugar total, right? It's got to be pretty sweet. And mezcal with agave syrup, it's 40% ABV. This is basically a sweetened mezcal liqueur, and it has all of the smoke and intensity of mezcal, woo, in a much more soft and approachable kind of package. I love using this stuff in cocktails because I think mezcal makes for a wonderful modifier to a base spirit. I think that mezcal as a base spirit is really overpowering. That's just my own personal opinion. I like to use it in small quantities, and this is one of the ways to do that. Highly specialized, universal good gift? I don't know. Probably not. I think it's a cool curiosity. I think it's something that somebody may not buy for themselves, but when they open themselves up to experimenting with it, they're going to be really appreciative and enjoy the doors it opens for them, but it may not be the lowest hanging fruit. I would say don't buy anybody vermouth. I don't think so. I don't think there's any vermouth that's really worth being a gift. I don't feel like that goes without saying. It goes bad. You drink it fast, whatever. Don't do that. One more really cool liqueur to get is Ancho Reyes. Ancho Reyes, they make two of them. They make a chili, a green one, and they make, this is a red one. The green one is Poblano, I think, which is a little bit, it's a lot different, actually. This is chili. And I think this is a really cool thing to have. I use it all the time on the show. A wonderful thing to have behind the bar, but that you may not buy for yourself because it has it's not in every drink. It's pretty limited in its use scope. There's notes of chocolate in there and spicy chili. I love it. It's so cool. It's like throwing Chipotle into something. It really burns. That's got a lot of heat in it. For me. I think this is the best spicy liqueur to own. It is super good in anything that you want to spice up. My words are great. Super good. One more stop in the bottles. I want to talk quickly about Absinthe and Mead. Absinthe is something that shows up in so many cocktails. I'm actually going to say this is the fourth major modifier. Absinthe, chartreuse, maraschino, and then if you're into tiki, Falernum. Oh, and also Allspice Dram. St. Elizabeth Allspice Dram is the one to get. I didn't bring my bottle of set. I use it all the time. I love it. Absinthe is wonderful. It lasts forever unless you've got a friend who's a real absinthe drinker, in which case I would say don't buy them absinthe unless you know exactly what they want, because they've probably already had it, or they're making their rounds. They've got, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things where it's like, guys, I'll buy the absinthe I want for myself. Thank you. If you have an absinthe drinker. But if you have a mixologist, they need a bottle of absinthe. It will last them, especially if they haven't bought one already, last them forever. I haven't bought absinthe in years. This is my bottle of Pernod. I am betting that this has gone clear from sitting on my shelf and just sort of like losing its color to light. That's how little of it I use. I'm not like a big absinthe drinker. I haven't really drank absinthe in many years, just like as a thing. Almost completely clear. It has a little bit of green left to it, and it's still absinthe. Strong licorice notes. A bottle of good absinthe is wonderful. What do I mean when I say good absinthe? Well, don't buy Absinthe. The whole idea is that it doesn't have wormwood in it, so it's not really absinthe. Believe it or not, Pernod is the absinthe, but not Pernod Pastis, which is fake absinthe, Pernod Absinthe Superior. This is the absinthe of the Belle Epoque that all of your favorite Impressionist painters loved. That is the great stuff. St. George is a great absinthe. I love both of those very, very much. Of course, there are many other absinthes, and absinthe is not cheap. In a lot of cases, you can spend quite a bit of money on it. You know, when I say that, I mean like premium spirits, like $80 to $120. I suppose you can spend as much as you want on anything, but I wouldn't recommend spending much more than that. So I like those two. They're relatively accessible. I was at my liquor store today, and I did not see Pernod Absinthe. I hope they still make this product. I saw Pernod Pastis, but I did not see Pernod Absinthe. At any event, I know St. George still makes absinthe. The other one I would say is mead. Now, mead is complicated because I don't know what you have where you live. I happen to have this bottle of Odin's Skull, which is from Dansk Mud. I think Dansk Mud is probably the most accessible mead on the market. They have it at my local liquor store. They have the entire lineup of them, which is crazy because a few years ago, I know that they would not have. This fucking stuff is delicious. This is so good. All of this stuff is delicious. It's a little bit like drinking candy. And the truth of the matter is, unless you've got a mead head on your hands, they probably haven't had it. And I'm sure they're going to appreciate it. You know what I mean? Like, it's a cool thing to get real mead. And they have a lot of different flavors. They have a lot of different expressions. This one tastes like apple pie. Oh, that's crazy. That's so good. I should have put that in my Christmas Spirits episode. Some meads are very dry. Some meads are kind of sweet. I find that almost all of the Dansk Muds are very approachable. They have one that's called Klapotsker. That one is not very approachable. That one seems, that's got a lot of caraway in it or something. That's not for me. But any of the other ones I think would be a wonderful gift if you can get it. And you know, if they're at your liquor store, they're not going to break the bank. So much of this stuff will be available at Curiata. Use the link in the pin comment below or up here in the corner at drink.curiata.com. I don't know how much of it is. I didn't bother to check. They're not like the sponsor of this episode. They're friends of the show. We work together. Check it out if you're looking to pick up any of this stuff. I think that's it. I really think that's it. You know, we talked about bar tools a little bit. I talked about that extensively in another episode, and I said many times in this, all of that information is still true today. Some of those things would be lovely little gifts, little frivolities, like these bitter bottles, for example, upgraded shaker, upgraded strainer, thing that somebody may not buy for themselves unless they're really into this thing. Good gifts. Bitters, bottles, that's what we were talking about today primarily. That's good stuff. I looked to see if there were any new bar gadgets on the market. I didn't see any that I thought were worthy of a gift. The one that I thought might be cool, I bought. It sucks. I'm not really into it. Other than that, glassware. People who make drinks need glassware. A lovely set of glasses. Why not whiskey? Great gift. And making club soda, carbonating water, carbonating cocktails. That's what I think is cool. I think that the fact that you can take lemon, simple, gin, ice, shake it up, add a little extra splash of water to it when you shake it, and then take that and carbonate that entire thing into a very well carbonated Collins. Very freaking cool. And DrinkMate can do it because it can carbonate anything. Again, frequently a sponsor of the show, not a sponsor of this episode. Full disclosure, you gotta believe me, or you don't. I don't care. If you don't believe me, you don't believe me, but whatever. I'm telling you, I love this fucking product. I've been using it for years. Anyway, that's it, guys. I hope you're having a very merry. I appreciate you watching the show. If you want to hang out in the Discord and tell me I'm an asshole or pitch ideas of episodes to me or hear me out when I'm complaining about stuff or talking about what I might shoot next week, Well, we have a Patreon. Patron members, I think it's $5 and up. They get access to the Discord. There's going to be a link in the pin comment below or over here. Check it out. There's other stuff over there. I appreciate it. Hey, that's a great gift. Give someone a How to Drink Patreon membership. Does really actually keep the lights on. No joke. It's for real. It helps. It makes the show possible. So, and I do appreciate all of our patrons. Until next time, thank you all so much for watching the show, making the show for forever. Here are more episodes of it. Of course, I'm sure, yeah. Here are more episodes of it, more things. Check them out if you like the show. I hope you will enjoy these. Like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me in the comments what you think you would want to receive as a gift, as a bartending gift. See you guys next time on How to Drink. Good night, good luck. I love you.